Good evening, parents. Welcome to the Huron Valley Schools Junior Kindergarten Informational Meeting. We're so pleased that you could join us tonight. It's exciting. While we're still here in February in the cold weather, it's exciting to be thinking about the upcoming school year where we will welcome our next new learners to the Huron Valley Schools. The team this evening will answer a number of your questions, but if there's still a question that remains as we get to the end of the presentation, I would just encourage you to include that question in the live stream chat. So parents, we're talking class of 2036, and I just want to encourage you as a parent myself to cherish every moment that you have with your children as they work their way through junior kindergarten, elementary, middle, and high school. I've got 3 children of my own, a senior, a sophomore, and an 8th grader, and it truly has gone so fast that my advice to you as you think about 2036 maybe being a long ways off, it's really not that far away. So enjoy every moment. So our mission, and something we really pride ourselves on as a school district, is we're committed to inspiring and building futures one student at a time. And that really means doing everything in our power to tailor make an educational experience that will help our children to be successful, not only in school, but also in life. Our vision is a successful future for all students. That's what we want to see for our young learners when they graduate and cross that stage at Lakeland High School or Milford High School or Harbor High School or the International Academy West. The junior kindergarten vision is one that helps us accomplish that mission and that vision by really creating this program in 2016-17. The committee committed to recognizing that some students might need an extra year of kindergarten to be successful in school. And so that's really where this initiative comes from. The committee and our teachers that are on this call have worked very hard to establish a successful junior kindergarten program. And in 2018 school year, the 2017-18 school year, we welcomed our very first group of students. This year, we have 6 classrooms representing 104 students that are enrolled from across the Huron Valley schools as well as other neighboring school districts, because this program is very attractive to many families. I'm also pleased to report that as of this evening, we have 48 families that have already expressed interest in the 22-23 school year, and that's just because of the track record and the excellence that is provided by our teachers and our principals and the entire commitment of the school community. So I just would say that I want to encourage you. Don't forget, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask those questions. We're going to show you a short video, and then my colleague, Mr. John Tavernier, he's the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching, Learning, and Technology, is going to share some thoughts with you as well.
Kindergarten, where students have extra time to learn and grow, to elementary school, where individual needs are met in an inclusive setting with dedicated teachers, from middle school, where students engage in digital technology and pre-engineering, to high school, where robust academics, athletics, and arts programs allow students to learn a trade and earn college credit. We are Huron Valley. Schedule a visit. Have a closer look. HVS.org. From junior kindergarten.
All right, there we go. So thank you very much, Dr. Salah. Appreciate the introduction and our quick video there. Junior kindergarten is really a point of pride in Huron Valley Schools, and we are happy to offer this program to the community. So thank you for joining us tonight. As Dr. Salah mentioned, I'm John Tavernier. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching, Learning, and Technology. We have several teachers and other administrators on the call this evening, and I'm going to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves as we go through tonight's presentation. Junior kindergarten really is about a gift of time. It's really an opportunity for students to participate in a program which is really designed to be a 2-year experience for kindergarten students. This is really designed for those students that would benefit from an additional time to meet the rigorous kindergarten standards. If we think back to maybe perhaps when we were in kindergarten ourselves, and it might have been a half-day program, kindergarten is a much more rigorous program. It is now a full-day, 5-day-a-week program, and our junior kindergarten program is designed to augment that and give students the gift of time with a second-year experience. The programming for our junior kindergarten program, again, I mentioned, is 5 full days. It is a play-based kindergarten curriculum. It focuses on art, music, physical education. So all of the elective classes, or what we call specials in the elementary program, is available to students in our junior kindergarten program. The school days follow the same calendar as our kindergarten through 5th grade students, so it's the same school calendar. And our junior kindergarten programs are housed in the elementary. So many of our junior kindergarten classrooms are near the other kindergarten classrooms in the building. And most beneficial to our families is junior kindergarten is available tuition free. It is available at no cost to families that are interested. So we are going to spend the rest of the presentation here today going through a number of different components within our junior kindergarten program, and we have a few teachers on the call this evening that are going to be able to give you a little bit more insight into what junior kindergarten looks like from the classroom level. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Linda Lajovic, who is one of our JK teachers.
Good evening. I'm Linda Lajovic. I'm a JK teacher at Country Oaks Elementary, and I just absolutely love JK. I've taught kindergarten, I've taught 2nd grade, I've taught 3rd grade, but by far and large, my favorite is JK. So for our curriculum, JK, we focus on developing academics, social engagement, emotional development, and physical activity. The junior kindergarten program was designed to intentionally provide more time to work on critical foundational skills. It's based on Michigan kindergarten standards. We'll show you an example of that in the next slide. And it was developed by a team of Huron Valley kindergarten and junior kindergarten teachers. Our day is structured in such a way that we foster play-based learning. We focus on our children's interests and let that guide our activities. All JK classrooms have a paraeducator that joins our class for 2.5 hours per day to support our instruction and management. Next slide. So in this slide, as you can see, the JK curriculum falls between pre-kindergarten and kindergarten. We extend the skills learned in pre-kindergarten and give our JK students a solid foundation for kindergarten. In kindergarten, students add to their foundation by adding building blocks. Our goal in language arts is to help our students develop a love of reading and books. We have big books and matching little readers for the students to read after a story is introduced. We have a phonemic awareness program that focuses on rhyme, segmenting words, learning letters and their sounds, and reciting nursery rhymes. In JK, the expectation is that most letters and sounds and letter sounds will be mastered by the end of the year. Next slide. Just like in language arts, the math standards were modified to give our students the gift of time. Our program also allows us to take our students beyond just the curriculum presented. Some concepts that we teach are simple patterning, beginning addition and subtraction, skip counting by tens to 100, recognizing and describing shapes, writing numbers to 10, counting to 30, comparing groups with terms like more, less, greater, and fewer. And so what I want to say as a teacher, we take kids where they're at, and if they are ready to read and to write, they're reading and they're writing by the end of the year. And now I'm going to turn it over to Sarah Lafontaine.
I'm Sarah Lafontaine. I'm the junior kindergarten teacher at Spring Mills Elementary. So I'll share a little bit about our science curriculum that we do in JK. We have 3 main units that we study in JK. So our the way we launch our science first is through the 5 senses. So it keeps that play-based, and so the kids, it says it asks questions based on observations. You know, at this age, they have a lot of questions. So we're talking about, you know, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And all the things they're noticing and wondering about. We will collect and record information. Our next unit that we study in JK is living and non-living things. And our final unit, and probably one of their favorites, is we do a weather unit and talk about how to be safe during different kinds of weather and the seasons and how the weather is changing and all of those things that they're noticing. And then we'll engage in as many hands-on things as we can throughout the year as well. Social studies, we have 2 main units for social studies. It's school rules, so just learning how to be a student, and our needs and wants. So as you're going through the slide, it says recognize themselves as being unique. They'll start to learn to appreciate the differences in others in their class. Following school rules, that's probably one of the biggest advantages we think of JK, is that they just learn school. They learn how to walk in a line. This is how we sit. This is how you move safely in the classroom. This is, you know, how I'm responsible for my materials. So it's really important for them just to get the basics down and how to be a student, so they're ready for kindergarten. They'll work with their peers on different projects. We have a lot of community helper type nonfiction books and costumes to go along with those. So you'll see in that slide some of the costumes that we have in JK. So they love putting those on and, you know, pretending that they're those different careers. And the last one, explore the needs for goods and services. That goes along with our needs and wants unit. So what is something you truly need? What is just something that you want that you can live without? And how do you obtain those things? Although we think there's many benefits to junior kindergarten that you're not going to see, you know, that can, in terms of a percentage, just, you know, some of the ones we mentioned on how to be a student, how to separate from your parents, how to independently take care of your needs at school and be responsible for where that backpack goes and bringing in your folder and your lunch and all those things. Obviously, we are a school, so academics is a main focus. So as junior kindergarten, we're probably the most proud of, you know, we have this program, and what are the benefits? Is what we're doing truly making a difference in allowing those kids to be ready for kindergarten? So these are some of the assessments that we do. This cadence is a phonemic awareness. So rhyming, what's the beginning sound in a word? Can you put sounds together to make a word? That's those type of assessments. So if you're looking at all students entering kindergarten, you can see the 55% are meeting that benchmark already. The second part of that slide is showing just what the junior kindergarten, so just the kids that have come through our program, now they're going to start kindergarten. What did they learn? And so we're finding that 82% of them are already meeting those kindergarten standards. The next one is letter ID. It'll be the same thing. So starting kindergarten, maybe 70% are already proficient, which is what we consider at grade level in terms of letter identification. If you came out of junior kindergarten, 89% of the kids are already meeting that standard. The next is sound identification, and same thing as a result of junior kindergarten, 95% of them already are meeting that benchmark in terms of knowing those letters and what sound they make. This math one, at the beginning of the year, kindergarten will do a math assessment that will kind of give you a whole picture of the year. So 55% are meeting some of those kindergarten math concepts that will be taught that year. If you look at the junior kindergarten, the 73%, it looks a little low. You just have to keep in mind, these are kindergarten things that they'll learn throughout the whole year. So it wasn't everything that we have mastered. It doesn't look like our students aren't prepared in math, I guess, by that percentage. It might look a little deceiving, but So 73% are already meeting the benchmark for math in terms of topics before the year has even started.
Thank you, Mrs. Lafontaine. Good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. My name is Jen Kidd. I am the Director of Early Childhood Education for Huron Valley Schools. When it comes to making the decision to enroll your child into junior kindergarten or kindergarten, there are many factors that we should consider as we determine the best placement for your child. First, I think it's important that we consider the target audience for each of our programs. For our junior kindergarten program, the target audience typically includes children who need more time to develop socially, children who may need more time to develop academically, and perhaps those who need extra time to develop self-monitoring or fine motor or gross motor skills. Additionally, junior kindergarten might be a good fit for children who have limited or no preschool experience. Children who will benefit from a 2-year kindergarten experience may be great candidates for JK. It's important to know that all of our students entering junior kindergarten or kindergarten must be 5 years old by December 1st. So if your child has a birthday between September 2nd and December 1st of the same school year, he or she may enroll with a parent-signed waiver. We're going to talk more about all of that later in the presentation. But what I want you to know is that age should not be the only determining factor in considering placement for your child. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes as well. For our kindergarten classrooms, the target audience typically includes children who have attended preschool, children who are eager and excited to start school, and children who have the stamina to sustain structured academic activities all day long. As Mr. Tavernier shared earlier, our junior kindergarten is a full-day, 5-day kindergarten program designed for children who would benefit from a 2-year kindergarten experience. Junior kindergarten might be a strong option for your child if he or she will be experiencing school for the first time, as I mentioned earlier. If he or she would benefit from the gift of time for student and school readiness. So for example, by having extra time to thrive in a play-based curriculum, by having extra time to learn how to read and practice following directions, to have an extra 2-year to grow socially and emotionally and interact with same-aged peers, and really to just experience additional opportunities that could increase their interest in things such as literacy, letters, numbers, early math skills. Junior kindergarten might be a good fit for your child if he or she would benefit from extra time to play collaboratively, to develop conflict resolution skills, to promote independence, to build attention span and stamina. And as Mrs. Lafontaine mentioned, just practice transitioning within and outside of the classroom during those daily routines. If at any time you have questions about whether a junior kindergarten or a kindergarten placement might be the right fit for your child, you can contact any of our elementary principals or even myself. We're always willing to listen and help work through any thoughts or questions that you may have. Finally, if your child does not meet age eligibility requirements for junior kindergarten or kindergarten, feel free to reach out to the Apollo Early Childhood Center. That's where I work. We have a great team, and we're always willing to share information about our fee-based preschool options or the Great Start Readiness Program. We have opportunities for preschoolers that are 3 and 4 years old. Our telephone number is 248-684-8040. With that, I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Tavernier.
All right, thanks so much, Mrs. Kidd. We appreciate that, and we really are, I mentioned that junior kindergarten is a point of pride in Huron Valley, and so is our Apollo Early Childhood Center. So definitely, I always appreciate getting a chance to get over to Apollo whenever I need a refuel or re-energize. A lot of good things going on over there. So the next thing we're going to talk about this evening is just the logistics and some of the frequently asked questions that we get about junior kindergarten. First is the location. So location, where we offer the junior kindergarten program, is really dependent on the interest, the enrollment, and the availability of classroom space. So it varies from year to year, but the sooner that we are able to find out who's interested and how many students are interested, the earlier we are able to make those determinations. So it is based on enrollment and availability of classroom space. The maximum class size of our junior kindergarten program is 20 per class, so we do limit that. If interest exceeds that, we will offer space at another junior kindergarten site if available, and if there is no additional space, we will institute a lottery program. Transportation is provided to students that live within the program attendance boundaries. So if your home school is hosting or has a junior kindergarten classroom and you live within the attendance boundaries of that building, then we will have transportation available. I'm going to turn it over next to our coordinator of pupil services, and that's Ms. Cindy Housel, and she's going to walk through some of the details for the enrollment process. Cindy?
Great, thanks, John. Students who are 5 by December 1st of this year are eligible to enroll in our JK program. So if they are 5 by December 1st of 2022, they can feel free to enroll. Our next slide will show you that interested JK families can visit our district website by going to hvs.org for parents, enrollment info, and junior kindergarten. We would love for all interested families to go out and complete the JK interest form for 22-23. Also, we are super pleased to announce that this year, all of our elementary buildings will be hosting kindergarten orientation in person. So you'll want to mark your calendars for Tuesday, March 15th at 6 o'clock and make sure you attend. So what's next? Our next slide will tell you our department will be reviewing the completed interest forms, and we will be working on placing all students in their JK buildings. We will then reach out to all the families to confirm their child's placement for 22-23. We're hoping to have this done by the late spring. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our department at 248-676-8431. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jennifer Bjorkman, who is our Director of State and Federal Programs and School Improvement.
Good evening. Thank you, Cindy. We did put the link inside of the chat if you have not had a chance to fill out the interest form. So you can pick that up there or at our website, as Mrs. Housel shared. I just wanted to talk a little bit about all of the things our families have to say about the JK program. We've had a lot of great feedback, and we're excited to continue to offer this opportunity. So just a few of our parents have shared that our JK program is a wonderful, much needed experience for their child, and they saw their child grow in developmental areas and find a love for school. That was from Mrs. Jamie Felt. Teresa Jambeck shared that JK was the best decision they've made so far for their son. And then Mrs. Carolyn Black May shared with the new state standards for kindergarten, junior kindergarten was the perfect play-based curriculum for my son. So in addition to parents having great things to share about the JK program, we've also have teachers, and you were able to hear from Mrs. Lafontaine and Mrs. Lajavik, and we also have Mrs. Laura Rosing, who teaches at Country Oaks Elementary, and she shared that JK gives students confidence so they can work independently from the first day of school. And then Lisa Anderson, a Lakewood kindergarten teacher, said, our JK students are well prepared, comfortable, and confident and ready for kindergarten. They're strong in their letter and sound identification. So we know that our students who've had the experience of JK are confident and excited to begin their kindergarten career their next year. And then finally, we have another teacher who shared that as a teacher in the junior kindergarten program, they have enjoyed watching our young students grow socially, emotionally, and academically, all while teaching under the philosophy that children learn best through play. So we want to continue to grow that, continue to grow our program and share this love of learning and this learning through play. And we have brought one of our experts from the past. We have Anna, who is Anna is a former junior kindergarten student in Huron Valley, who is now, I believe, in 5th grade. She prepared this little statement for us last year. So if you want to hear what the kids have to say about it, here is one of our alumni from junior kindergarten.
Hi, my name's Anna and I'm in 2nd grade now. But I want to tell you about when I was back in junior kindergarten. In junior kindergarten, I got to ride the bus to school and see my teacher every day. She was so nice. At school we played lots of games, read books together, and learned new things. We even went to art, gym, and music. Sometimes I got to use a computer. And we played outside on the playground almost every day. I loved junior kindergarten. My mom said I was learning so much, but I was just having fun. If you want to go to junior kindergarten, ask your mom and dad to visit hvs.org.
So I don't think anyone can say it better than Anna. And I guess I overshot her age a little bit. Sorry about that. She was a 2nd grader, and now I believe she's in 3rd. So anyway, we have lots of alumni who are doing great things in our Huron Valley schools, in our elementary buildings. And so we're just excited to welcome you and your family and your students to our junior kindergarten program. We do have a live chat feature going in the YouTube stream right now. So if you have any questions that you'd like to add in there, we'd be more than happy to take a few minutes to answer any of those questions. And we did put the link in there for the interest forms, and also there is a lot of information on the hvs.org website. There is a junior kindergarten button right on the front page, so you can gather a lot of information there as well.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Bjorkman. I know that there are some questions in the YouTube chat. Ms. Bjorkman, were you going to moderate that? And I think we can just, as a team, answer any of those questions that have been submitted.
Sure. There, just from what I can see, there is one question from Mr. Hedges. He asked about the location of the junior kindergarten programs. He said, on the HVS website, it states the JK is available at Country Oaks Elementary, Oxbow Elementary, Spring Mills, and Highland and Heritage. Are there any plans to expand this to any other elementaries? And I know, Mr. Tavernier, you had answered that question. If you want to share again.
Yep, again, so we try to offer the program in as many buildings and locations as we can, but it is based on interest and enrollment. And in some cases, it is limited on the availability of classroom space. So those are some of the buildings we've offered it in the past. I know that we have interest across the district, but unfortunately we're not always able to offer the junior kindergarten program in every building. So in those instances, we try to offer families an alternative location and try to do that as close as possible to their home. But that is something that is not always available in every building each year.
And Mrs. Housel, we had a question from Vesna Beckstorm, and it says, we are out of district. What is the cutoff for submitting the enrollment documentation for junior kindergarten?
Our non-resident schools of choice window for the 22-23 school year is open now, and it closes on September 9th of 2022. The sooner we can get you enrolled and get all of your documentation in, the better off you'll be. If you wait till, September 8th to fill out your schools of choice and want to register, we'll do our best to get you a spot, but it may not be your first choice. So fill out that interest form now, and then our department will help you navigate our student information system and help out getting those that paperwork set up. If it's during the school year, the school that you are placed at will be doing that enrollment. But for right now, schools of choice is open, so you can fill that paperwork out now versus later.
Thank you, Cindy. We have a question regarding, is regular kindergarten also play-based, or is only junior kindergarten play-based? I'm wondering if one of our junior kindergarten teachers would like to share their thinking on that.
I can if you'd like, Jennifer.
Thanks, Sarah.
So I was a former kindergarten teacher in the district, so we definitely know what the skills they need to be in place to be ready for kindergarten. Junior kindergarten is play-based. There doesn't mean that in kindergarten there's not a lot of elements still of free play and going outside. Their math has a lot of hands-on materials. They're still going to do science hands-on. It's just not as much as in the junior kindergarten. They have their curriculum, they cover a lot more. So just with time, it would not be as play-based as junior kindergarten.
Thank you, Ms. LaFontaine. We have a question. So how do we know our child's homeschool for orientation on March 15th if the assignments are not in until late spring? So I know, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I can answer that, and then maybe Mrs. Housel wants to jump in as well. The first thing I would say is just the question around your homeschool. If you're not sure what your homeschool is based on attendance, on the district's website, where Cindy had pointed out earlier, under enrollment, there is a street guide, and you can look up your address and find out what your homeschool is. If you have any questions, you always can call our Pupil Services team. Again, that number was 248-676-8431. If what we've done is not knowing exactly what building you might be in junior kindergarten, we do encourage families to attend the kindergarten orientation of your homeschool, and then again, you know, go from there based on interest and enrollment. But Cindy, anything that you want to add that I left out?
We have quite a few school of choice students coming in. So if your address is not in district, I would just suggest going to the school that is your first pick. We can't guarantee that your child will be placed there, but it will give you a good overall view of what the program is all about.
And our kindergarten orientation nights are held at every elementary on the same evening. And we will also host later in the spring, in May, we will have a kindergarten K days where the students will attend the school in May. So if there is a change in your placement between the orientation, kindergarten orientation that you attend, which is just for the adults, and the K days, you'll be able to certainly attend the K days where your junior kindergarten program will be housed. Let's see. What is the daily school start and end time for the junior kindergarten program? I can answer that one. Our junior kindergarten program runs on the same start and end times as all of our elementary schools. 9:10 will be when the first bell rings, and 4:07 is when the last bell rings at the end of the day. So they will run on the same calendar and the same daily schedule as all elementary students. There's a question on how likely is it that a lottery will happen? John, do you want to answer that one?
Sure, yep. So fortunately, since this program has begun, since we've been offering the program, we have not had to institute a lottery. We've been able to offer placement for every family that has shown interest in JK. That's not to say that we've had availability at the first building or the first choice of school, but we have not had to institute a lottery as of yet. But we do put that out there just in the event that that were to happen, that is, you know, it is a possibility, but fortunately we've not had to do that in the past.
And there is a follow-up question to that. If enrollment does have to go to a lottery, do in-district families take priority?
Yeah, so as part of our Schools of Choice guidelines, Schools of Choice is available to families where space is available. So we do prioritize resident students for placement in our programs.
Thank you. And then Mrs. Kidd, the question is, asked for the hours of junior kindergarten, and then do we offer a before and after school program?
We do. This year, we had a few staffing challenges, so we've actually condensed our school age care programs currently to 3 hubs. So we house school age care at Highland Elementary, and then we bus our Spring Mills and Heritage families to and from Highland. Currently, we have our program at Country Oaks, and we bus Johnson and Kurtz students to and from before and after school. And then we also house a program at Lakewood, and we house Oxbow to and from Lakewood. So we're not quite sure what our plans will look like next year, but we will be offering school age care in some capacity. So watch for more information. You can always head to our Apollo website, and we will have information posted there pretty soon, coming in the next few weeks.
And if I can, I'm going to jump on that really quick to say that if there's anybody that is watching that might be interested in working in any of our programs across the district is hiring, especially in our school age care programs. We definitely would like to open programs back up where we can. And so I would encourage anyone that is interested or know someone who might be interested to visit our website, hvs.org, and apply.
Thank you, Mr. Tavernier.
The next question is for our junior kindergarten teachers. Will there be a nap time in the JK program? Right now, their daughter only does pre-K 3 half days. So just wondering about the stamina for students for 5 full days.
I can speak to that. In my classroom, we do have a rest time. Some classrooms have just a downtime where they might read books, lay on mats, and just have a quiet time. My classroom, we put music on, we have rest mats, and I have the majority of my children do fall asleep. It just depends on the individual classroom teacher and the needs of the individual class.
Thank you, Ms. Lajovic. Let's see. We did our enrollment form online, and it's a school of choice family. So, Ms. Housel, do they need to submit all of their documents now, or just once we know if we have a spot?
So hold on to those documents. I'm so glad that you are at that point. So we'll just need you to hold on to them, and then we will reach out to you by late spring to let you know where your child has been placed. Once we have placement set up, we send the school secretary the list of students, and they start making phone calls and setting up appointments to have you bring in that documentation. If we can't arrange a time, if the secretary and you can't come up with a time, we help them over the summer by finishing getting that documentation. So we have a couple of enrollment nights set up during the summer to be able to accommodate working parents, and but the school secretaries are super excited to get to know you and meet you, so they get the list and they get the pleasure of meeting you when you bring in that documentation after placements are set.
Thank you, Mrs. Housel. The next question is kindergarten orientation. Is that also junior kindergarten orientation? Should we attend the kindergarten orientation if we are planning on junior kindergarten? And I can go ahead and answer that one. Yes, it is a kindergarten orientation, but there is some information that's very helpful to our junior kindergarten programs. Mrs. Lajovic, did you want to, or Mrs. Lafontaine want to add any information?
I think you covered it, but I think it doesn't hurt to always attend the kindergarten night. You're going to see the teachers that you have either that year or the following year. And for some, if you're really still unsure, I feel like that night just gives you something else to listen to and a different perspective, and oftentimes helps parents, make up their minds into what is the best, fit. And of course, we're all going to be there in person. So sometimes it's nice to just be able to have that conversation if there's still some questions.
Thank you. The next question is there access to an example curriculum, or can one be provided? I think if there is interest in seeing what our curriculum looks like, I think any one of us who could reach to, particularly our junior kindergarten teachers or myself, we would be happy to share that information that you're looking for. This presentation will also be recorded, so some of that information on curriculum will be there as well for you too. Is breakfast and lunch provided to students in junior kindergarten? Breakfast and lunch provided to our junior kindergarten or kindergarten students? Yes, it is provided daily for all kindergarten and junior kindergarten students. Right now, all lunches and breakfasts are free to all students. We will see how long that continues. If we can continue to provide that support, we will. We'll know more as time goes on. One more question. Our daughter is at Apollo and is hitting everything academically and socially. Her teacher is concerned about the pace. Will she be bored learning things she has already touched on in her pre-K years?
I would say this is a perfect situation where we can feel free to reach out to me. Of course, we can ask the teacher and have some conversations with her too, but let's set up a time to chat and we can work through all of your questions and your thoughts and make sure that we're considering the best placement for your child.
Thank you, Mrs. Kidd. And is there any preference to incoming kiddos who have siblings at the school? Ms. Housel or Mr. Tavernier, if you wanted to answer that one.
We try not to split families up, so yes, that factor is considered. If the enrollments get in at a timely manner. If you're submitting your application again the day before school and our program is closed, our hands are tied. But absolutely, if you have your application in or getting it in now, we make every effort to keep families together in the same building.
All right. Are there any other questions from the group?
I think that's great. Thank you, Ms. Bjorkman. Appreciate that. And if we didn't get to all the questions, or if there are more questions that come in after viewing this live stream, definitely encourage folks to reach out to any of the numbers that were shared. Again, Mrs. Kidd at Apollo Center or our Pupil Services line can help provide guidance. We encourage families to attend the kindergarten orientation night coming up in March, and that is open to all prospective families. So we definitely encourage you to visit there. And then I'll just turn it back over to Dr. Salah if you have any closing thoughts for us this evening.
I just want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. I want to thank our teachers and our administrators that are on this call. They did an outstanding job walking through the benefits of the junior kindergarten program. And again, I just would remind you of our mission statement of inspiring and building futures one student at a time. Truly, that is our commitment. And I hope that you really saw that emerge as our staff talked about the junior kindergarten program and how it's tailor-made to meet the needs of our kiddos that benefit from the extra year. So with that, have a wonderful evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us. We hope to make you part of the junior kindergarten family.